Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Leach, and I'm NFCYM's Director of Strategy and Formation. And I'm joined today by Ryan Bao, who is NFCYM's Event Marketing Specialist. Today, we're having a conversation about 5 things that group leaders need to know the first time they're thinking about bringing a group to the National Catholic Youth Conference. So we have 5 things that we're going to go through. But Ryan, in addition to being the event marketing specialist for NFCYM, you, in a way, are a first-time group leader. Tell me what you're doing with your diocese here.
I am. I'm from the Diocese of San Jose. I'm a youth minister at St. Clair, so go St. Clair. And this will be the very first time that San Jose will be bringing a delegation to NCYC, to my knowledge. So I'm kind of heading that and helping my diocesan director get that together. It's really exciting, and as much as it has its challenges, I'm pretty happy to be doing it and seeing what kind of fruits there might lie in the future for it.
Amen. I remember being a first-time group leader, both for a parish group and as a diocesan staff member. And I know that attending something like this can be a little bit overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. So we have 5 things that we want new group leaders to remember, maybe keep in mind as they plan their delegation. Ryan, the first one is to know your purpose. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I like to ask myself always, why am I bringing young people to NCYC? It's kind of the same with every other thing you do in ministry. Are you trying to provide a service? Are you trying to enhance their spiritual life? So why are you bringing your purpose? First and foremost, because if you don't know your purpose, a lot of things will become mundane, as we know that there's so many logistics in place that you have to plan. So if you don't remember what your purpose is, they get quite tedious. And if you do know your purpose of bringing young people to encounter with Christ, it accentuates and elevates the smaller tasks towards the larger one. But also, it shows kind of a type of realism to what you're doing with NCYC. Let's say this is the first time, so at least my goal is to introduce NCYC to my diocese, which doesn't mean that I'll need a ton of numbers of like 500 young people to go, but rather I'll hand select, or I'll personally invite specific young people to go so that they can spread the word when they come back to our diocese. So that's kind of a realistic expectation I have, instead of having a very large and unrealistic expectation.
The first time I went to NCYC with my parish, I took just 3 girls. There were 3 leaders
Mhm.
in the parish. And, it seems like a heavy lift to take a small group, but it laid the foundation by giving them this great experience of NCYC and, helping them then recruit their friends and pass along what they learned at it. So definitely know your purpose. The second thing, Ryan, we have is to know your needs and your wants when you're putting your trip together. What does that mean?
Right. So it's almost kind of like a minimalistic type of scheme. We have to know what we need first before we kind of can accentuate or add on things that we want. So for NCYC, at least, you really need a couple of things that are highly important, or else you can't have any NCYC, which is one, being travel, to and from the conference, and maybe even between your conference center and your hotel. And the second thing would be your hotel accommodations. The third thing, the registration itself, which is like inputting people's information, collecting their information, and then also having the registration fee. And the fourth thing would probably be chaperones, because young people need chaperones, if or else they can't go anywhere. And then the fifth thing would be, of course, sustenance or food. So if you have kind of those 5 things first, you should just allow the spirit to kind of move you organically to those extra things. As much as we all want a ton of nice merchandise, those things can come after. And plus, you can buy NCYC merchandise at NCYC, so don't fret.
That's awesome. The beauty, I think, of this is that in every diocese in the country, there are people with experience
Mhm.
coming to NCYC who can walk alongside new group leaders and share some of the wisdom of these things so that nothing falls through the cracks. That's great. Um, but speaking of nothing falling through the cracks, something to keep in mind is asking yourself up front, like, what is the budget and how are we going to price this out? So talk to us about that, Ryan.
I think the number one thing is to not be afraid or fall into despair. First of all, it's a large sum of money, but know that it's possible. It's always possible, especially for smaller groups or groups that are way farther away than some of us might be. they still can bring young people to NCYC. So I think it's all in the realm of possibility. As for affording it, I know some young people can't afford it, and some young people can. And so some of the ways that we can help our budget is by leveraging those who can with those who cannot, and also building a sense of community around helping each other afford NCYC. So some of the things that you might want to do are look at fundraising options. There's a really great blog post that we've already done about fundraising, and you can check that out. But something really simple, like just adding a $5 or $10 fee to the entirety of the registration fee, just to simply go to those in need, can really help out because it's a peer helping another peer. So whatever it is, it's figure out your budget, what those needs are, and then figure out how you're going to pay for that and how you're going to help the community help the community itself.
Yeah, we can't recommend enough to check out the blog and the post that's on there. It lists lots of different ways that different groups fundraise, as well as has a presentation by our treasurer here for NFCYM about what his diocese does to fundraise. So definitely don't let money be an obstacle right off the bat. The fourth thing that we think a new group leader should keep in mind is to get help, to not do this alone. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, Ryan?
Sure. One of the things that always resounds with me is the notion about it takes a whole village to raise a young person, right? Or to raise a child. And kind of going off of that, we do need a lot of help. I mean, ministers are great, but we need the help of parents. We need the help of pastors. We need the help of other adults who don't have young people or children of their own to help young people go to NCYC. And that also plays into a lot of different people's charisms because as much as we want to do the budget, maybe we're not all accountants. So let's have maybe some of the parent accountants do that, or some of the parents who are really good at marketing and inviting young people or creating graphics to all help you. Not only that, but our young people can help us too. They can help create the graphics. They can do the personal invitations. So try to use your entire community to push this entire mission of getting young people to NCYC. It's hard to delegate and ask other people to, but really all you have to do, in my experience, is just ask. And people are more than willing to help you with whatever needs you have.
You know, it's so easy on a trip like this to get lost in all the little planning details and the money concerns and everything like that. And we forget that NCYC is a pilgrimage, that it's a
Mhm.
spiritual opportunity for young people to meet Jesus Christ and to build that foundation for a lifelong faith. So I think the last thing is maybe the most important thing for group leaders to remember. And it's just that the Lord is with you, that he's called you to NCYC, that he wants your young people to be there. And that this can be a real blessing and a foundation for your group. Do you have anything to just say about that and trusting in the Lord, Ryan, as you plan your trip?
Not much, but I know it'll be hard. But I know there will be a lot of fruits coming from it. And there will be a lot of joys that I find, especially in the smaller things. Um, as I kind of say, you should probably just do as best as you can and let God do the rest.
Amen. The 2022 National Catholic Youth Conference is taking place November 10th through the 12th in beautiful Long Beach, California. There's many ways to bring a group to NCYC. You can join up with a diocesan delegation if your youth ministry office is coordinating a trip. But you can also purchase tickets as a parish and attend on your own. And more information on that can be found at ncyc.us. We hope to see you there. Thanks.